Well,
That was a lovely meal.
what was a lovely meal? What?
The one the other night that you didn't eat, not yet. Gnostic or whatever they call it, Ganachi or gonads or whatever.
Gnostic. That was the one. That was
Gnostic.
that.
It was.
That's because I was eating for free earlier on. Just
I know.
I got well fed earlier on.
I know.
So you know yourself, when you can eat for free, you never pass it up. Okay, I'm talking to you for fuck's sake.
No, absolutely not. Never pass it up.
Never pass it up. No.
Yeah.
So I had a tour this week. Do you know what I done this week? I was quite proud of myself. I thought this was dead funny. Well, we got an American Pope. So I heard somebody say Trump's tariffs are working that way, leaving the Pope's the Pope's American now. But we were down in Dublin, and we went down into the Papal Cross. Because I kind of thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
We went down and stopped there, let everybody go and see it. No, but they were doing a bit of building work around it. They were putting up like scaffolding and stuff around at the car park.
Yeah.
So whenever we got back on, one of the guests said, "Marty, what's all the stuff going up for? Is there an event?" I said, "Well, since they elected an American Pope, they're putting a KFC and a Burger King down in here."
Right. I wanted to say.
Some of them laughed. Some of them, I'm not sure whether they thought you was joking or not.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
They put a Burger King and a KFC down in here.
All right.
But yeah, kind of funny. It was funny.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
We haven't been on for a couple of weeks because various bits and pieces and things. And
well, we're on, but we weren't here.
Yeah. Well, we went to.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah, we went up to the Whiskey Social. This, by the way, is a QR code that if you weren't there, you can scan this, and that will take you through to what's they're doing. They're going to be the guys that run it are going to be doing a shop. It's not totally off the ground yet. This is their sort of first foray. But you can go on, and all of the exhibitors, because we never got to seemed to go over very quick. It seemed to just, and it was away,
I don't know. People were chatting. We're chatting to everybody. We met loads of people we knew.
Yeah. So these were all the exhibitors, and you can go and buy stuff. And there was a couple of crackers.
We have this guy at the end. He talked to us. He was very interesting. He's coming on the show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's going to come and say us. But yeah, there's a couple of real crackers. There's a couple of real standout ones. There was one. I have to say, the Tipperary sake one. It was bloody nice. It was chuffing nice. And then we went over to our wee friend Megan over at Woody's. And she gave us that 30-year-old Highland blended malt.
Can I say it? Can I say it? We'll get Zuckerberg. Their catchphrase is literally, "It's nae pish."
It's nae pish. Honestly, but I have to take my hat off to them because every fucking thing they do seems to be amazing.
But she's a scientist. She's
clever.
She's better than an agronomist. She's a brain surgeon or something like that. Maybe she has mind altering stuff in the whiskey, and that makes you think it's good.
Well, potentially. But all I know is the stuff that Woodrow's of Edinburgh are doing. Every time I've tasted it, it's been the sort of standout of the show. Now, a 30-year-old blended malt, as I say, there's a fairly decent chance that it's always going to be good quality stuff, but fabulous stuff. There was the one from Slane, the peanut one from Slane. That was chuffing fucking lovely too. Some really nice stuff starting to come out. It's interesting and it's got a bit of age to it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tipperary. That one was very nice. The sake one. Had that sort of vinegary note to it. Very good. But the one that would have really tickled me fancy the whole night was the Woody's 30-year-old Highland blend. Just chuffing lovely. I picked up a bottle of this last week. So I did 2 stacks. The Polaris 4.1. Just read this because I can't remember just off the top of my head. Oloroso Vintage Mash Bill. Distilled 2001, bottled 2005, and it is the long forgotten mash bill from 1892, heavily influenced by oats a keystone of traditional style pot still, is the creation of Fernand O'Connor and the expert team at Boan. So this is one of the vintage mash bill bottlings that Fernand did with Boan that have started to come out. There's been a couple of them. Boan bought one out, this out, etc. Look at the colour of that. I mean, can I get the colour of that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks delicious. It looks absolutely delicious. This, however, there was a very short run of these. So I'll not be opening this. And I'll tell you why, because I want to get that collection. I want to have the packs, the original packs that come out as a new make.
Yeah.
And then we'll maybe think about opening it. So we'll see what values goes. But no, it's a cracker one. And the guys at Two Stacks doing even more great stuff. But yeah, that was a nice thing to pick up. Excuse me. Do you know what I had for my dinner? Mashed potatoes and beans. And it's sort of giving me a bit of that kind of thing.
Right.
So if I go like this, you'll know why. But
Right.
Mashed potatoes and beans. Yeah.
People will think I'm giving you electric shocks for a remote control or something like that if you go like
No. Funny, I was talking to a guy who was in hospital. We were comparing hospital notes and all. How my treatment, my nurses were better than yours and all this kind of shit. And he got electrotherapy shock treatment stuff.
Right.
It wasn't on his brain, it was to do with his heart. But he had to lie in this thing and they give him it. I kept thinking of 1 3 over the cuckoo's nest. I think that's exactly what I thought it was, But no, we're all right. But we were comparing hospital ailments, was it like that scene in Jaws? Comparing your scars.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yes. Now, people are preempting this tonight. I mean, look at that message.
Darren, we have a week. We touched on Glen Scotia this week.
Yeah.
But what's another release that they brought out? Still my favourite distillery in Scotland. I absolutely love Glen Scotia. I think what they're doing is superb.
Very good. Very good indeed.
What Glen Scotia is it, Darren? If you don't mind asking. And let us know. And Frank, you're saying, you've got a wee short cross in your glass. You always have short cross in your glass. They've got a very loyal customer in our Frank, so they do.
They do indeed.
And rightly so. We got talking to them at the Whiskey Social. David and Fiona popped up.
We did, and we talked to one of their guys there as well. That'll be going out at some point on a Saturday night as well.
Yeah, well, I think I mentioned the last time we were at the Fernand Mash Bills project, and they had the ones that David and Fiona had distilled, and they were just mind blowing, but fantastically well made. Bit heavy ABV, they were the cast strength. There was 60-odd%. One of them was 90% alcohol. Even at 90% alcohol, at flavour, which is kind of remarkable. I think going with David's talk at that point, he was kind of surprised just how much flavour it had, because it was like a recreation of one of the old mash bills. But Shortcross are sort of hitting their stride now. I think now they've got times on their side. They've had enough time to age the stuff properly. The stuff that they have made is just coming to fresh, and they're making really interesting stuff. Things that nobody else is doing, and they just are. They're doing some wonderful stuff, and it's really tasty and amazingly well made. It has to be said. So yeah, good on them. But as that journey continues, it'll be really interesting to see where Shortcross go. It's really exciting what they're doing. Anyway, so Campbeltown Harbour Classic Malt. I'm saving my Victoriana for special occasions. Victoriana's fucking awesome. It's so good. It's so good. Sam McLennan, trying Fox's Bow tonight. Great Northern Distillers. The word great and Fox's Bow I haven't seen in too many sentences there, Sean, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. The term fur coat and no knickers is something that sort of pops up whenever I hear Fox's Bow. It's pleasant enough, but methinks there's a lot more went into the design of the package rather than the spirit. I don't think anybody's been overly keen and worrying too much about the actual whiskey, as long as it comes in a fancy bottle. More power to them if people like it and whatnot. That's good on them. But yeah, that would be my assessment of it, to be quite honest. But will we do a wee bit of what's been going on, Justin? Will we do a bit of what's been going on?
Apart from tariffs, do I have to mention that? Do we?
We'll mention it briefly in a wee minute. Fucking fed up by the fucking tariffs and all. Take them off, put them on, take them off. Nobody seems to know what the fuck's going on anyway. So,
no.
Aye, but aye, we'll do a wee bit of news, won't we? So the first thing I want to talk about is the new Hawks Rock Distillery. Lochgill have changed their name, and for anyone who doesn't know, Lochgill was a fairly small distillery set up just outside Sligo, and in swooped Sazerac, who are the guys who own Buffalo Trace and various other brands, big time players from Kentucky. They bought them up. Now it's probably the largest distillery, the largest on-site distillery. I think that Helen told me, I think it's 7 acres under roof. You know, they've got a massive place, 110-acre estate, so on. So they've decided to change the name, and go with Hawks Rock. Now, Hawks Rock is a like mountain, a hill not too far away, apparently inspired W.B. Yeats, and that's going to be a sort of central thing for them. They seem to be sort of going down the Yeats poetry sort of thing. That seems
Isn't there something else that is branded Yeats? Is there out there, or am I mistaken?
Well, from the distillery, you can see the Lake Isle of Innisfree, which Yeats arose and went to, and went on about his 9 bean rows and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's this is the name going. To me, it sounds a very American style name. You know that it's an American owner with that name, don't you?
You do, but they probably went Lochgill. Gill is to do with fish, you know.
Yeah, no, I get why they changed it. Hawks Rock, not convinced, but I know it's the sort of name that'll sell in the States.
It is, but if they put £5 billion worth of brand behind it, it might surprise you what it does, you know.
Oh no, I've put like this. These guys know what they're doing. They are no dozers. So I think it's a bit of a strange name for an Irish whiskey originally.
But although the logo's strong, the logo's strong. It's like mountains and an eagle. I mean, the logo is pretty strong. I do like that, you know.
Yeah, but I think that's why it'll sell in the States. It's got that. There's Connor coming in. It's horrifically American sounding. Well, probably yeah.
Yeah, but it'll go down well. At least they won't have to change the name. At least they won't have to change the name.
Oh, see the way you've done that, a reference to a Pogue song and everything there, Justin. Amazing. But no, so they've changed the logo, they've done that, and changed the name. So yeah, there's a wee video. Can you play the video? Can you?
I can play the video. We'll see if the video is in standby mode or has it disappeared. It's disappeared, but I can play it. Here it is, where it is, video storage. Play it. Play the video. Here we go.
Nope, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one.
Yes.
That's the wrong one. Why can I not play the video then?
It's in. I did send it to you. If you bring up the website, I think it's maybe on the website.
Is it on the website? Hold on, we'll see if we can play the website. Hawks Rock Distillery, sure. That's the wrong one. That's right. There you go. That is the Hawks Rock
website.
That's the website. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have the fantastic Helen pops up.
Yeah.
And she's front row center, and so she should be. She's there basically saying, they're putting it forward, look who we have, and rightly so. So again, moving forward, these guys, you know that they're going to be big. They'll make Paddy's one of the big American brands in the not too distant future. I think, whenever they've been saying this for a long time, once they put their foot in the gas as such, Paddy's will go from being almost non-existent in the States. It'll be in the top 4 best-selling Irish whiskies, potentially top 2. I mean, they're not going to take over Jameson, but that'll all depend on the tariffs. What's happening there? Nobody seems to know, to be quite honest. There's going to be tariffs. Then they're taking them off. Does it apply to Northern Ireland? Because that's a different. They're signing an agreement, and it's in the UK. So nobody seems to have a clue anytime you talk to anybody. But at the minute, it looks as if it's they're not happening. But that's all up in the air. The other thing, the good news for UK, Scotch, and hopefully Northern Ireland as well, I would hope to be included in that, is the trade deal with China or with India, that they're going to halve the import duties going into India so it'll take it from 150% to 75%, heading south. That over the coming years, it'll be heading down even further. So fingers crossed that happens. They will. It'll make stuff cheaper in India, and hopefully both markets remain open.
There's a good question. Will they have to pay tariffs distilling outside of the US of A?
Yeah, that's kind of the point. But remember, we said about Diageo coming out with the thing. Whether that, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous and a bit cheeky, but them saying that, well, basically most of Scotch whisky is actually an American product anyway, because they said, well, most of it is blends. The grain content's made with the American corn.
Mm-hmm.
And when we age it mainly in ex-bourbon casks, so all it is basically a Scotch, but it's all an American product, so, which is kind of interesting take on it. But yeah, as I say, it's
But smart people that buy boats keep them outside of the UK, so they don't have to pay tax. So when it gets to the UK, it's a used boat, not a new boat. And I think one of the airlines is doing that with its planes. It's Airbus planes. They're flying them outside the USA until they're old, and then when they land in the USA, they're not a new product, so the count is old, so they get less tax.
Well,
I don't know how to do that.
People pay people to come up with the cheapest solutions to stuff, and that's what they do. But at the minute, it's not a question of having to cheat; it's a question of what it is that's actually going on. I mean, a few weeks ago, everything was going to get taxed. Now it's not, and some stuff is. Maybe it's not. So it's hard to know. The Indian market, that should open up a bit more for UK whiskies, primarily Scotch. Let's be honest. But hopefully, the likes of the Northern Ireland, the Bushmills, maybe your short crosses, and that can benefit from that too. It would be nice to see that happening. But again, everything, the whole world's gone to shit. Let's be honest. We're almost on the brink of a nuclear war during the week, and that's not the first time that's been touted in the last sort of couple of years. You know, so we'll worry about it when it comes. The one thing we will notice is whiskey auctions. There's been a marked decline. Now, Irish whiskey auctions have seen a fair slump, but a lot of the Scotch stuff's getting absolutely hammered. And I don't tend to watch an awful lot of the Scotch bits and pieces, but there's the whiskey auction. The number of lots is down significantly. It says here, I've got the facts. The secondary market is down 53% for Scotch. And part of that volume is down 21%. And what that means is lots of people have finished collecting. Guys who used to be selling stuff, they either don't have it to sell anymore or they're hanging on to it. So the amount of stuff being entered into the auctions dropped because people aren't getting the prices and various other things. So yeah, it's if you've invested an awful lot of money in Scotch over the last number of years, you might be a bit. And the same for Irish. I mean, let's be honest, some of that has dropped.
The thing is, if it goes down, you can drink your sorrows, Marty. It doesn't make any difference.
That's the joy. But
it's not like Bitcoin when they delist it or it disappears, you don't have it.
Or the North Koreans steal it or whatnot.
Yeah, I know.
I still don't understand how the biggest single theft, like a crime of thievery, happened a few weeks ago, and it was like item number 6 on the BBC. The North Koreans stole $1.5 billion in one thief. $1.5 billion was nicked in Bitcoin off one of those Binance or something. I can't mind it was something like that anyway. They stole it, and I thought the whole point of Bitcoin was, it's traceable and everything's blah blah blah. Obviously, fucking not. That Lazarus Group has been stealing hundreds of millions for the last few years, but $1.5 billion gone, basically the flick of a switch. And the Great Train Robbery, they're still fucking making films about it,
I know.
But
But they will make it about Korea, but then they'll have to ban the movie because they'll threaten them, like the last time.
Yeah, well, that's right. They had to turn it. That Sony had to stop the thing. Anyway, but no, it's just bizarre. But no, the price of this stuff going down. It does say on it that the bottom end of the market is actually doing quite well because people are still buying stuff at the bottom end of the market. And okay,
but you get some really good, unusual bargains at the bottom end of the market.
Well, you normally do. I mean, I picked up this not that long ago. Melrose of Soho, 7-year-old. I picked that up for about 30 quid. Interesting, nice
bottles. But that's bound to be less than it costs.
Probably. Well, not whenever it come out, but yeah, it's independent bottlers. This is the other one. Independent bottlers have seen volumes grow by 100% in the secondary market. So people are now hunting out things like this rather than buying the top end. So the top end has been.
But you must admit, people like you have been telling people to hunt out things like that, because they're interesting and they're good. Interesting and cheap, and you can drink them and open them up and enjoy them. So that hopefully maybe you guys have been listening to me. That's what it is. But it says the report says it's up 100% volumes on that as well. So that's pretty good. But in terms of value, the top 10 or the top number are Macallan, obviously. Then Springbank, Bowmore, Ardbeg, Glenfarclas, Lafroig, Balvenie, Glendronach, Highland Park, and Lagavulin. That's the order of still the most valuable brands, but Macallan's obviously way, way, way out there. But yeah, interesting. So as I say, it's the bottom end of the market is really where it's interesting at. Pick up interesting stuff. I bought 3 bottles this week. I think include the bottle fees and shipping. I think it ended up about 95 quid for 3 bottles. Nothing particularly stunningly special, but they'll be brought home and opened and drank and enjoyed, and they're interesting. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't even remember. I'll not tell you what exactly they were because I can't remember. But they were these couple of independent bottles. Was one of them an SMWS bottle? I'm trying to remember. I bought some other stuff this week, but yeah, as I say, you get 3 bottles for like 95 quid. It's hard, but to say no to getting bottles that are interesting and cheap, rather than getting ripped off by paying extortionate amounts of money for stuff that's not very. I'm not saying it's not very good, but it's nowhere near as interesting. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Next up is Glen Scotia. I love Glen Scotia, I really do, because they are bringing out a 50-year-old Glen Scotia. Now, they're only bringing out 100 bottles, and it is £35,000 a bottle. But not that long ago, you couldn't really buy anything more than like a 25-year-old Glen Scotia, and that I've seen it in shops for £500 a bottle. Now they've started to bring out these massive ultra premium things. This is release number 1, and I'd love to have that. It's just
what?
Fantastic.
When did they start going down this route? That's the dearest one I've seen in a long while. 35k.
100 bottles of it. The first one that they did was a 46-year-old, and then they did a 47, and now 48, and now they've done this 50. So yeah, it's interesting.
Gosh, it's good. It's distilled in 1973.
Yeah, they seem to have a bit of this stock sitting about. because that's they seem to have been bringing out 46, 47, 48, and now this year, and this is a different release. So I don't know whether they're doing a series of it or not. But obviously it's out of my budget, probably not out of yours because you work with all them Indian groups and stuff. But so I don't know, but House of Hazelwood, they're going to top this because there's 100 bottles of this, but House of Hazelwood, they're going to aim for 100-year-old whiskey. Now, one for the next, they have brought out a 60-year-old whiskey, and there's only going to be 25 bottles of this. But they have a thing on the timelines. That's the website, is it?
Yep. Do you want me to scroll down? Yeah.
Scroll down a wee bit. Scroll down, a little bit further, a little bit further. So this is chapter 1. Down a bit further, and it tells you that if you're a good boy and you want to get chapter 5, you just have to wait to 2046 to pick it up.
2065? Come on now, come on. That's 2065?
Yeah.
They're very confident that
yeah,
Scotland won't have been ruined by the SNP. But at that point, they're extremely confident.
What do you mean it won't be ruined by then?
Well, but totally ruined by them, like dystopian, like there'll be
Mad Max type stuff.
Well, yeah, there'll be Mad Maxing or CGI and Snake Plissken, and it'll be Escape from the Gorbals.
But no, so you have another 40 years to wait until you get your bottle. I don't really understand this. I'll finish my collection. You need to be fucking Connor McLeod, Highlander, to live that long.
You know what I mean? I made a known Highlander would come into it. Oh my god, I feel
best film ever made.
It's shite. It's pure pish. That is pish.
Fuck off. No, I mean, Glen Scotia, 50-year-old. That's fair enough. Okay, there. But 2065.
They're keen.
I don't know whether they want you to prepay this or whatever. The 60-year-old one of 25, you get 25 bottles of it's 10 grand. What the fuck price is 100-year-old whiskey going to be? And I don't. It's
Can
just
I ask you a question? How long has this company been around?
They've been around for a bit. Gordon MacPhail, that's who's behind
Gordon
this.
MacPhail, so they have been around a bit, right?
They've been around a long time, but it's just.
But you really need to be the Bushmills of this world, to have 400 years behind you to hope 2065. 2065 is like 40 years from now, isn't it? It is 40 years from now.
It's 40 years from now. But there is the video. The video you want to show earlier on.
All right.
Show that one.
Do we have it? We do.
There's no
There's no sound with it. I didn't think there was.
But I thought there was something wrong with my speakers. So there's Ailsa Craig because it's distilled in Girvan.
Oh yeah, you pass that distillery. That's old footage of it. Yeah.
So yeah.
It looks like it's filmed in 8mm. It actually looks like it was filmed at the time. Oh, that looks retro made. 1964. Yeah. That was you were born, wasn't it?
Fuck off. But no. So there you go. That's Paul. It's just fucking nuts, like it really is. But yeah, do we really need 100-year-old whiskey that you have? I don't know whether you prepay it now or not. It's just sort of daft, but there you go. Anyway, there's more insanity coming up shortly. But Irish malts. Well, they want you to join in their design team, apparently. They've given this. They have. I know what I'll do. I'll have a wee SNWS Christmas bottle that I bought there a while back. Rocking the Gravy Boat.
Okay.
This time last week, I was in Kaleidoscope Bar in Queen's Square in Edinburgh, drinking some fabulous stuff. And the staff, oh, by the way, the staff in it, the guys in it were fucking awesome. The knowledge that they have, and there was this girl that was serving me in the Kaleidoscope, and I said something to her because you know the way you just get a feeling about somebody? I said, so you haven't worked here that terribly long, have you? He says, no, this is my third day. I said, all right, dead on. She says, so I know what I'm doing, such because she'd worked up in the Scotch whisky experience up in the Ramal, and then sort of upgraded now to the SMWS, and she was a bit intimidated by it. She says, you know, there's guys come in here that really know what they're doing. Everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody,
Mhm.
you know, Rome's never built in a day, but she was really pleasant, friendly, and then they get this guy come in. I'm not saying I can't remember his name, and he says, "Sir, what are you drinking?" I says, "Please don't call me sir. I hate being called sir. Of getting to a point where I really don't like it."
Yeah.
I says, well, "I'm trying one of those, whatever it was the bottle." He says, "Oh, I thought that up there. There's an extra one that poured. Just take that with you." All right, thanks very much. Because he was doing something else, and he poured an extra one. So he just says, "I take that. Here, have that. Do you like it? Here's that." And it's tough and lovely, you know, really, really nice, nice chatty people, and guys that really know what they're doing. I mean, even the girl that she's only started in there 3 days, but she knew her stuff about whiskey. I mean, she didn't get the job as a total noob. So yeah, that's where I was. That's time last week. That's where I was. I was sitting while you were away, sunning yourself with your Indian groups, trying to herd, trying to herd them to some semblance of where you're supposed to, some direction of where they're supposed to be. I was sitting enjoying and relaxing in Edinburgh. It was quite pleasant.
All right. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. So, talk me through this. I could design some super logo. Could I?
No, what they want, they want you. Well, not you specifically, because they've met you. Anyway,
Uh,
if you go onto the Google Docs page that I sent you,
yeah. Does my stuff come up? I think it does, but here it doesn't matter. You can all spam
but
me.
it's mine. I think it's my email address, is it not?
No, it's mine.
Is
It's
it?
mine. Yeah, don't worry.
I'll send Justin a lot of pervy stuff and all.
Don't do that.
No, so they have. You get to do Irish malts. We understand that community is at the core of the whisky industry, and Ireland, blah 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 blah. It's your chance to influence every aspect of production, from selecting the perfect liquid to designing the distinctive bottle shape and creating a label that tells our collective story. Each decision will reflect the diversities and creative ideas of enthusiasts. So there's community voting, design decisions, exclusive insights into the whole thing, and so on and so forth. And all you have to do is sign up. So,
But there is a question you have to answer. That's why it says it's a competition.
no, it's not really. No, it's
All right. Okay.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
It says, oh, your name. Okay.
Are you part of any? Your name. Aye.
Oh, your name. Oh, I thought that was a quiz.
What is your name?
Is that a
it's
quiz?
a quiz.
It's
That's
a quiz.
Justin. The standard of quiz that Justin goes to. What is your name?
No.
No, so as I say, if you want to go part of that, join up to the Irish Malts Community Cask thing. So people get the vote. The only problem we'll get people getting the vote and making things democratic is that
it could be called Bodie McBoatface.
Well, a friend of mine, he always said opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one.
Okay, hey, I've got to go with Malty McShitface.
Sorry. So it could be in.
We'll be getting asked to leave next.
But yeah, as I say, it's yeah. If you want to get involved with that, well, there you have a chance, and you can do that. Now, next up, speaking of weird, or weird or hashtag bollocks. There's a guy going to age whiskey in Loch Ness. Sorry, run that by me again. What the fuck's the point?
What happens if Nessie gets it?
Well,
why is this not showing up?
It's the first bottle of whiskey matured in casks submerged in Loch Ness has been sold at auction. Unique Spirit was purchased for £850 after dozens of bids. Basically, they dropped it at natural 55% ABV. It dropped out as a result of one-of-a-kind production method that changes its molecular profile. Domhain cannot be legally classed a whiskey. There are just 6 bottles of it in existence. So, I mean, they are just collectible stuff. But it's whenever they turn around and they say, oh, We're thrilled that there's someone out there going to have a chance to experience this. This is all about how it's going to affect the flavour and all that. No, it's a fucking gimmick. It's a gimmick. Just keep it as a gimmick. Just be far wiser rather than come on and saying, "Oh, well, we're doing this and it's going at this pressure. It's doing that and it's going to do that." Just come out and say, "We did it for a fucking laugh." For a fucking laugh. That's all we done it for.
But there's precedents in this and other alcohols. There's a wine in Portugal that's been doing it for centuries in some reservoir or something like that there. And there are other places, so I do believe that putting it underneath,
It's only they put it in a wee tiny cask about this size and dropped it down. It's a gimmick. Just say it's a gimmick.
Well, it's a daily record, but...
Yeah, that's true. But they only done 6 bottles of it, or whatever it was.
I know, because the people down there would be snorkeling in Loch Ness going, and next thing they know, they'd get bitten in half by the monster, and that would be a national scandal that they'd close it then.
Some of the people up there are a bit odd, I have to say, up beside Loch Ness. I was at the Drumnadrochit Hotel a lot of years ago. Did I tell you this story, didn't I?
No, but your neighbour used to live up in Loch Ness.
What one?
The one that had the toy shop in Inverness up the street.
Oh, yeah. Francis Jackie. Oh, no, that was up in Inverness. No, beside the Drumnadrochit Hotel is right beside Loch Ness.
I know, it's creepy, isn't it?
A wee bit. So I was up that part of the world one day, and I thought, I've never stayed in the Drumnadrochit, so I'll ring and see if they've got a room. So I rang, and I said, "Oh, look, sorry, I checked hotels.com. There's a room. It's like £120 a night." And so I thought, something, I'll just ring them, see if we get a wee bit cheaper or whatever. So I rung them. I says, "Listen, I'm looking at a double room for the night." "Oh, all right, dead on." I says, "How much that?" He says, "Oh, it's £140. I says, "But it's only 120 online." And the wee girl says, "But sure, everything's cheaper online." Well, then I'll just book it online. I'll just book it online. And she says, "All right, but do you want me to write it down here now?"
How does that work?
I go on ahead. She says, "I'll have to do it when I get back because I'm actually standing in the bank at the minute." So she took the hotel reception phone with her. Obviously, there's fucking nobody on reception. It's like, this is a bit odd. So when I got there, she was lovely, lovely girl. She was lovely. I think her name was Megan as well, off the top of my head. But anyway, got there.
Did you play a flute and say, "Riddle me this, riddle me that"?
No. But whenever I got there, she gave me my key. I went up to the room and opened up the door, and there was a black Labrador lying on top of the bed.
Gosh, it's the Wicker Man!
Looked in the fucking room. I was like, this is fucking nuts. So I got the dog. Dog was lovely and friendly and all. I got the dog, took it to the reception, and she went, "Oh, we were looking for him." And that was it. It wasn't, "Oh, did you shit in the bed? I'm awful sorry." Nothing. "Oh, we're looking for him." That was it. And there's a lot of people that got up around that part of the world. Lost the dog. But she didn't look very fucking hard for him, But anyway, it was good crack.
Boy. I know. Yeah, it's a bit mad.
They are. Mad. But no, we're now aging at the bottom of lochs in Scotland. So there we go. Master of Malt. They have competitions running, and you can buy a raffle ticket basically and win some of these bottles. One of which I noticed was the Forêt de Tronquay, £15 a ticket, and they tell you how many of them there is. And I did a quick calculation. The Forêt de Tronquay is £15 a ticket, and if you add up the value of the tickets, it's not actually even at retail price. So there is, how many tickets is there? 265 tickets at £15 each.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 5,000 a bottle when it was released.
Mm-hmm.
So if you add it up, that comes to something like 3,800 something.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're just looking rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
Some good deeds. I think we'll share that one because that would be one that people want to.
Well,
you better chance of winning that than winning the lottery, really, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I know you're not great at maths, Justin, but yeah, having a 1 in 285 chance versus a 1 in 14.5 million.
Yeah.
I think you would. But yeah, as I say, So I seen that and I thought, that's interesting enough.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple of other things that are, you buy a ticket for a tenner and you're a chance of winning some nice bottles and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, might be worth looking at. Something is worth looking at is a new book that's coming out on the absolutely amazing place that is Campbelltown. It's called Whiskyopolis. It's up for pre-order at the minute, and it's the rise, fall, and resurgence of Campbelltown's whiskey industry. You can get it on Amazon, and it's supposed to. Obviously, it's a pre-order, so I haven't read it. It's basically the history of Campbelltown up to today, and as anyone who's ever listened to me knows, I think Campbelltown's just this little sleepy, sort of semi-sleeping giant. I mean, you've got two amazing distilleries there, Springbank and Glen Scotia. You've got Glengyle as well, but I mean, let's be honest, that's only there for a token reason. But you've got three new ones coming. The whiskey, they have the Malt Festival, which is always really, really popular. It kind of sits way in the shade of Islay, but in many ways, it's got a lot more charm because everything's just a little village. I mean, me and you've been
Whereas
there.
Islay, there's a fair drive involved.
Yeah,
Whereas you can walk around Campbelltown. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can walk from one end to the other.
You can be stocious the whole week, and you wouldn't be breaking the law.
Absolutely. I mean, you can move about. As I say, you can.
It's crowdfunded. Keane says that's crowdfunded. Yeah,
you can get it there on a pre-order. As I say,
so maybe it's out already crowdfunding, and this is actually it coming out to the masses.
Yeah,
then is it?
Yeah. So that's.
I'm surprised you didn't have that already.
Probably.
Must have missed
that. But yeah, as I say, it's up for a pre-order there now, and that'll be a nice thing to have because Campbelltown, it's a fabulous place. Fabulous. Haggis nachos are one of the proper delicacy.
They were good.
Oh, they are. They're absolutely stunning.
Although I still have this gripe. You made me stay in a crap Airbnb, and Julie got to stay in the luxury hotel.
Aye. I don't know how I'm going to get out of that by sort of getting around that. Julie wouldn't have been staying in that Airbnb. You're all right. Crappy Airbnb.
I don't stay in crappy Airbnbs like that normally, as you know. But anyway.
Anyway, but there's places to stay, and it's well worth going to it. Another competition. Rowan Co, our friend at hand. If you buy, because next week is Whiskey Live, if you buy a bottle of Rowan Co anytime up until Wednesday coming in, you will enter your details into the draw for you and a guest to partake in one of Ireland's most premium whiskey events. Our friends at Rowan Co Whiskey have graciously teamed up with us to run this competition. It's one not to be missed. So there you go. You can buy a bottle of whiskey in the friend, and your name will be put in a hat. And if you're lucky, you will get tickets for you and a friend to go to Whiskey Live in Dublin next week. So there you go. See, whenever you see a picture like that, I know Jim's very good with a camera. He can do, but every photo you ever see of the friend at hand, it just looks amazing. It's just fucking awesome. Awesome place. I was in it on Wednesday. Quick scoot. We popped in to see Ray and Jim for a wee minute, and it still blows my mind, even though I work there.
Just for some place.
It's unbelievable.
There you go.
But yeah, so there's a chance for that. A couple of quick last things. So a newspaper headline. I read the story about whiskey in Scotland is playing its part in repopulating rural Scotland. There's young people who are now getting jobs in distilleries as guides, distillers, etc. And this particular one, they're talking about how the Rassy distillery, people have moved there. The young people that have moved away are coming back to get jobs there. Plus, they're also getting in Skye. The population of Skye now is up to 13 to 14,000, although it's still way off what it was 100 years ago. I think it was something like 23,000 used to live on it. But there's more and more, and it actually goes through this interviews. That lady there, I can't remember her name, but
Iona Fraser.
Sorry, she was working over in Inverness and whatnot, and then she's moved back to join the Torab Haig distillery on Skye. So yeah, it's nice whenever you hear that distilleries are given job out in rural places and so on and so forth. I mean, because a distillery, as we know, manufacturing, but it's also tourism as well, and that kind of driven stuff. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. Nice article. So it was. And last but not least, Highland Park have done a video, an advertising campaign. Edrington Own It have done this advertising campaign, debuts Highland Park marketing campaign with local characters, and it basically shows you these local people who live up in Orkney. If I'm being honest, it is a bit Wickerman or slash Wickerman slash Drumnadrocket Hotel-esque look to them. But there was one of them caught my eye in particular, and I was kind of thinking he might have been on here tonight. But can you play the video?
We'll see if I can. It actually is playing, but it's not doing it for some reason. But it's in my ears. I can hear it in my ears. Maybe everybody listening can hear it, but
no.
There we go.
There we go.
It is a bit, but that kind of works actually, Marty. That kind of works.
Can you zoom in on the guy on my left? Can you zoom in? Just make the page bigger or something.
Can I zoom in? I might be able to. Here we go.
Because the boy on the left there, I kind of thought, has fucking Jim got a job up in the Orkneys now? Jim from the friend.
Very good. Very good.
But no, it's a bit Wickerman-y out in the stones, you know.
Yeah, they must have gone and cast that.
But yeah.
People are saying, why have we not mentioned Stanley's next tasting the 6th of June? Is there one?
Stanley on the 6th of June, I'll be hosting.
Right.
What tasting Stanley?
Well, you need to tell us, because I'm not sure we're going to be on live before that, are we?
I don't know. I should be about next week, I think.
I don't think. Well, I might be about next week, but definitely not the week after.
No, well, as I say, guys, a couple of people said to me this week, "Oh, why are you not doing shows every week? Why are you not doing shows?" It's just
too busy. It's just too busy.
Just too busy. I was in Edinburgh last Saturday. Justin was working with the Indian groups and whatnot, and I could have probably have done a bit of something, but I'll be relying on hotel Wi-Fi or doing it through my phone and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's just not the same as being able to do it from here.
Yeah, I actually met Marty for dinner one day this week when we happened to be in Belfast, and that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to come over, but yeah, so it is. I'll be patchy enough until such times as we get settled down and sort it out with my work, just because we get busy, and the nature of our work seems to have changed a little bit too. You know, there's used to be you could have just done.
It's last minute. I mean, last minute. I have a thing. The first weekend in June, it's last minute because something cancelled and something else has come in, and then they asked me to do something I can't do it. So
I had a phone call tonight about 3-day tours, and I can juggle a bit and do 2 of them, but I can't do the third. So then you're running around trying to find other people to do them, and it's that's just the nature of it, and a lot of it seems to be last minute. I don't know about you, but there's been a few cancellations and stuff. You know,
yeah, Pakistan, India stuff wasn't looking good there. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing is with us with the States, you know, anytime there's any sort of spooky at all, people just go, well, that's okay. I'll cancel that and get my
I'll
money
go
back.
somewhere more unsafe, like the next state over.
Yeah, we'll go to Tennessee or something. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it's kind of hard to plan a lot of stuff, but we shall try our best because we enjoy doing this kind of thing, you know. But if anyone is about on Stanley's on the 6th in the Go Sun in Ballymena, we will be doing a tasting. And Stanley put out today, it'll be it's going to be small distilleries or small producers. So we want to do a bit of a showcase on some of the smaller guys and see what nice there is, you know. But no, as I say, we'll be doing that up in the Go Sun on the 6th of June. As Darren rightly says, American tours are a bit sketchy. Yeah, Michael, they can be. I take it you've noticed that things are a little bit, you know, it's never really, it's never been the same after COVID as it was pre-COVID.
Post-COVID.
I mean, post-COVID, it's just so much uncertainty about and for various reasons and various factors, you know. So
I think it comes down to we're getting a lot of people that haven't travelled before travelling now, and the bags are up to. I told you about somebody who turned up in a vanio for 2 people, and the concierge says, "Where do you think you're going on the tour?" And they said, "Well, sure, it's a nice vanio." He says, "Oh no, you won't fit their luggage in the vanio." There's too much luggage that it wouldn't actually fit in a Mercedes Benz for 9 people.
Aye.
So that's not sane.
That's not people that are used to traveling. It may be. I had someone this week who had to buy another suitcase because of the amount of stuff that they were buying. You know, they bought a lot of stuff this week. They bought a lot of stuff, so they did. But yeah. Yeah, as I say, so it is what it is. So if we're not on, don't worry, we haven't forgot about anybody. It's just
will be something a wee short out that we've done an interview of to try.
Thanks for in touch anyway, and anytime anybody ever wants to give us a shout, please do.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Thanks for watching. Yeah. What's this here? Oh, well, better. I was planning to go to Nashville in August for my 50th, but the uncertainty is I've changed my mind to stay in Canada, Halifax. Oh. Oh boy.
Head in hand time. I was talking to a girl that I know really well, one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. She was telling me she was doing a tour, and there was 4 people. There was like 34 on it or something like that, and there was 4 Canadians on it, and there was a couple of big time Trump supporters. Okay, so you always tell them we don't talk about religion or politics when we're on tour. End of. But, and she says this wasn't just the Trumpers, this was the Canadians bringing stuff up as well. She says, oh, the shit hit the fan when the 2 Trumpers turned around and said to the people from Canada, you know, the president's only got your best interests at heart because Canada's never really been a proper country, has it? Now, you can imagine what that was like for the next couple of days.
Funny enough, I was at Titanic and somebody says, can I take your... I'll tell you a funny story. I was at Glendalough and I says, do you want your picture taken to this group trying to get their picture taken? And the person said no. Mm-hmm. They said no. So I sat down, but the next 2 other people had seen this and said, but when you take our picture... So anyway, I was walking back at Titanic and this person says, take our picture, please. And I says, yeah, no problem. And I was with was it with Peter or with the driver? Can't remember. I think it was with a driver. I was with my driver, you big Sean. And I said, where are you from? And somebody shouted, Ontario. And then the rest started, the States. And I says, will you make up your mind? Is Ontario part of the States or is it not? And they all roared with laughter. And of course, their tour leader who was in the picture, he was like, oh my God, he nearly died alive. But you have to.
Life on the road.
I know.
It's just bizarre. And you know what else I had this week? It happened to me twice. It happens regularly. I'm sure you'll probably get this. And you kind of know where this is coming from, but they won't say it the way they want to say it, but they have to say it in a sort of politically correct way. They'll turn around and they're in Belfast or something and say, Marty, tell me this. I don't see that many African Americans about here. And you know what they're actually trying to say, but they won't say it. And you're like, no, maybe we'll get them when they're on holiday. And then it's sort of, you don't know what you say, like, you know, it's just the way they say it. Yeah,
Very good,
I don't see
very
many
good.
African Americans about here. Yeah, we know where that's coming from. You know? Anyway, aye.
Yes, it's a moving feast every time you pick up a Titanic. It is. Yes, don't forget your barcode now, and make sure you have more than 15 people, because under 15 people isn't the group, and they don't get the brown tickets.
No, I've no bother with Titanic this year so far. Haven't really had any bother with any of the things other than Edinburgh Castle, they've decided to close Johnson Terrace off, which makes it an absolute pig. You have to march everybody up halfway up the Royal Mile.
Don't forget, I'm going to Edinburgh this year. Remember, I'm going to Edinburgh. Are you coming to see the show? I'm not in this show, but you can come and see the show anyway.
I might. You never know.
All right.